worry about having a heart attack, whereas women tend to worry about losing their mind. Has that ever been a worry for you guys?
For sure.
Yeah?
For sure. I've had so bad of anxiety before that I've went and taken Tylenol, because I know you should take Tylenol if you're going to go to the hospital and have a heart attack.
Aspirin.
Or aspirin. Yeah. Oh shit, maybe I haven't taken Tylenol. I should have been taking aspirin.
That's alright.
I'm not going to do anything.
More anxiety now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to get some aspirin. But I've done that before because I've had like chest pain, sweating. I've been in panic mode thinking that I'm having a heart attack. Really, it's just a panic attack.
Yeah.
I've obsessed about that because my family's had heart attacks before, and I think,
sure.
This is how we're gonna go.
Right.
This is how we're gonna go, right? And I've worried myself and panicked myself enough to faint. Before.
Really?
Yeah. KO. And that's all from worry.
Really?
That I'm gonna die.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you're still here.
But I'm still here.
Yeah. And you made it through those.
I'm pretty sure I got a good ticker.
Yeah.
If I've made it
this far,
this far with it,
yeah.
I'm on the right course.
Did you take any of that aspirin during a bender?
No.
I used to.
Did you?
If I was feeling palpitations, I'd go, fuck, I better take some aspirin now.
Send the blood out.
Yeah, send it out right now. Yeah. Oh my god.
Well, thank God you're here.
Yeah, I know.
Thank God you're here.
Oof. That was a bad time.
That's laced with opiates.
The more power you give to these obsessive, scary thoughts, the more they keep ruminating, and the longer they stick around.
I don't like that word, ruminating.
Repeating. I'll use repeating from now on.
What was the women one? Sorry?
Losing their mind.
Losing their mind.
Why is
like
that
going
difference
crazy?
between guys and girls?
I don't know. That's just sort of what
Losing their minds and we're worried about heart attacks.
Probably like hormones and stuff, right? I'm just going out on a limb there. I'm just going out on a limb there because I think that women aren't really scared of having a heart attack because we don't hear about women having heart attacks.
Right? That's true. You do hear about more men having heart attacks.
Way more about men having heart attacks than we hear about more women losing their minds.
Fair enough, I guess.
I'm just a straight shooter.
Sorry, yeah, okay.
Hormones.
Hormones.
When you can put a stop sign up, and this is where we go back to the stop signs. So some of the stuff that we've talked about before, we're repeating now, and there's a point to that because they all work for the same thing. It's like the same formula that works for multiple math problems. When you put up a stop sign and say, I'm not going to give this any of my energy, this is just a scary thought and it's okay to have it, it's not going to hurt me, and I'm not going to act on it. When you deflate it, then it won't keep happening. And devalue it. That's the word I couldn't read my own handwriting on there. Yeah, devalue.
It comes down to like detachment.
Detachment.
You gotta detach from those feelings. It's like I just know that from being codependent, and I think that's a big part of codependency is that when you need someone else to do anything for you, your life is a shambles, right? When you give up that attachment, it's not saying that you don't love that person or you don't care for that person. You just have to set a boundary of detachment. And I know that's a big thing in Al-Anon, in support groups for Alcoholics Anonymous. Yeah. That a lot of family members want to save their kids or save their husband or save their marriages, right? And they have to have that safe boundary of detachment. And I think we have to do that with anxiety. We have to detach, saying, I'm always going to be anxious, I'm always going to be anxious, and we put that in our minds, and we obsess about that, I'm always going to be anxious, I have anxiety. And really, we just have to detach from that and say, sometimes I have anxiety.
Yeah.
I don't...
It's
always,
okay.
It's okay. I don't have it every single day, all day long.
And stop jumping to extremes.
Right, and that's what it is. I think we need to detach from going to extremes, right?
Yeah, and just be realistic about it.
Only crazy 3 days a week.
Yeah, well, it's better than 7.
Exactly.
Chances are...
Better than like that.
Chances are if you have anxiety and depression, you have a really creative mind and a very, very powerful imagination. Yeah. But if you're working that imagination to the negative, of course you're going to exaggerate and say, I have anxiety all the time and this and that. And you're jumping to these
extreme.
Yeah, everything is to the scariest possible outcome so that you're prepared for it. Right. You just got to kind of breathe and reel it back. And
Can you imagine I thought about this the other day. Can you imagine we had anxiety about good things?
We do. It's called excitement.
Excitement,
right?
But we focus on
we don't ever focus on it as much. We don't
ruminate
I got
about
excitement disorder.
You know what I think I think a lot of that has to do with the fact. What did you say?
So we don't ruminate about that as much.
Oh, you're right. That's right. Scott's word of the day. Good for you, buddy.
That's right, though.
Absolutely.
We don't ruminate about being excited. We ruminate about being anxious, right?
And that's one of the things
Because that's the condition of society now, is we've conditioned ourselves to look at the negatives and the crappy parts instead of the positives.
Yeah.
if you look at the news and the media, you don't see a news story about a guy that took his time to walk the old lady across the street, right?
Right.
But you do see it about the lady getting hit by the car.
Right.
So, I mean,
that's exactly right.
Yeah,
That's
so
exactly right.
unfortunately, that's the stuff that seems to sell. That's the stuff
too bad.
that it is. And it would be nice if there was some kind of positivity news channel where everything that you saw was, rainbows and teddy bears. But that's not reality either. You kind of have to
We
balance
should
it
make
out.
a TV show where we just have good news. You
But
just
is that-
have good news?
Fake news.
It might be fake news, but at
It's
the
good
same
news, though.
time, I just think, how cool would it be to share stories about good things?
Absolutely. If
All the
everybody's
time.
just sharing them, like, hey, this will make your day kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think they're sort of starting to do that a little bit on social media.
Yeah.
Especially with puppy dogs and
Do you love your goats, hey?
Yeah, I do
love your goats?
I love animals.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love
I-
animals in
I see
general.
Yeah.
those videos
They're
of goats
funny.
on your thing, and I'm just like, you're hilarious.
With the
Like,
goats.
You're the funniest
I think I
guy.
should have had a pet goat.
You can,
Pet goat.
we can always get you one. I'll get you a Rosen goat next week.
You mean Billy?
With the rose in the goat's mouth.
Oh,
Billy
that's
goat?
good.
Yeah, Billy the
Billy
goat.
goat.
It's the people who have these thoughts. And sorry, we're kind of going all over the place today.
I think
We're
it's
having
a
a
good
good
one.
time. I wanted to. We're cheering up, right?
Hey, yeah, I'm cheering up.
Okay.
I am.
It's the people who have these thoughts and start to feel as though it is something they want to act on that need further help, not you. So if it scares you, that isn't something to be concerned about. That's actually a good thing. So the people that are really have some mental issues that need to see someone that's a professional are the people that start to take comfort in the things like hurting other people, hurting animals, hurting themselves.
Right.
If that starts to comfort you and you feel good about that, that's a sign that you should probably seek help right
Seek
away.
professional help, yeah.
But if you're still worried about these things, it's a normal response.
Right.
I mean,
And there's no problem with going and seeking professional help.
even if, for any of that.
You would if you had cancer.
Yep,
You go see a doctor, right?
yep.
I think it's the same thing. You go if you had a broken leg, if your bone was sticking out of your leg, you go
Right.
see a doctor, right?
Yeah, just take it
Yep.
out.
I just,
Walk it off.
as we recommend
Take it
before,
out.
yeah, as we recommended before you go on any medication, though, make sure you
Talk to
research
your doctor
those
for
side
sure.
effects and know what you're putting in your body.
Mm-hmm.
So as we said, if one of those scary thoughts was suicide, but it's something to feel comfortable, or starting to feel comfortable, and it sounds like that's an option and a way to get relief, get help immediately. Don't make a big deal of it. It's just everybody has thoughts from time to time, and if they scare you, that's okay. I mean, we've all had thoughts when things have been down and out about like, oh, fuck, I wish I wasn't even here anymore. And that thought kind of comes like, whoa. It's like an aha, whoa, what did I just say to myself, right?
Yeah.
And if that startles you and scares you, there's nothing wrong with you for having that thought.
I got thoughts like that when I was living in Calgary, and I was moving back to Ontario because I was still in this court thing, and I was super suicidal. Like, had a plan, knew how I wanted to do it, what I wanted to do, and like people noticed that as soon as I moved back to London from Calgary, people picked up on that, and they just kind of planted this seed to go see this counselor, and that's the last counselor I've ever had to see.
That's
But
amazing.
They planted the seed, and I went in and told this lady, like, I'm done. Like, I just don't want to do this stuff anymore. I can't. It's not. Every time I've attempted suicide, I've never wanted to die. I just need the shit to end.
Right.
I need the chaos, the drama to end. Like, I just need that stuff
Right.
to end. And this lady, like, bless her heart, just looked at me as a human being.
Yeah.
Like, not with a mental illness or not as an addict, just as a human being, and she like loved me back to me.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's like, why do we put so much clinical kind of stuff on professional counseling? Like,
Right.
It's not really that clinical.
Right.
It's just talking about your
Just
life.
someone that
Right.
wants to listen and
It's just,
understand.
and
Yeah.
a different
It's
perspective,
empathetic.
right? Like, yeah, it's empathy is a big thing with it.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
think, even if you do have thoughts of suicide, it's okay to reach out, use crisis lines,
Yeah.
don't ever think that you're all alone in that. And especially like with the Chester stuff going on this week, right? That like, don't be afraid, don't be ashamed to reach out. Even if that's like, that could be the biggest thing that you'll ever do is reach out and pick
Yeah.
up a phone call.
Yeah.
Even if that phone weighs 12 million pounds,
Yeah.
picking that phone up could save your life and thousands of others, millions of others ultimately.
And we are approaching the time of the year when suicide rates are increasing. So if that is no longer a scary thought for you, and that's something you're considering, you need to talk to a suicide prevention center. You need to talk to a therapist, and you need to get help for that. So if that's you right now, I recommend that you honestly do us all a favor here. Stop watching the podcast. Google the suicide prevention.
211. Start 211.
Is that Canadian?
Yeah,
Or?
it's Ontario.
So wherever you are,
Yeah.
either if that's Ontario, do that. If not, if you're outside of Ontario, go to Google, look up the closest location, and give them a call, please, for us. That's something that we're not professionals on that.
211 will like accommodate you with anything.
Okay.
With absolutely any resource.
So if you call, but if they're not in the area,
Yeah, that's the only thing. Like if they're out of Ontario, I don't think it works. Like,
Okay.
In Ontario, I know 211 is.
And there are national suicide prevention lines across Canada and the US. I don't know them offhand, but and the other thing that I wanted to bring up, so please go do that if you're watching and that's you. But the other thing I wanted to bring up is you and I have really different stories about, like, you swear by your therapist.
Yeah.
The last one.
Yeah.
I've never had a good one, and I do it all myself.
Right.
Or I try to. I don't know how it's working. You tell me.
I think it's all individualistic.
Yeah.
Like ultimately, I really do, because you may have someone in your life who isn't a registered therapist, but you may have someone in your life that's
still a therapist,
that's doing things for you, like doing those therapy things for you, and you may not even know it.
Right.
You know, like someone's loving you unconditionally, and you don't know that they're getting you better.
Right.
You know, like, because ultimately, even in counseling, my therapist, she always says, like, you did the work, and I did do the work, but
it's like they plant little seeds in your head.
That's it.
And then you say, you're like, oh man.
Yeah.
So what's your stance on therapists?
I've never like been to one.
Right, you have a close friend that's kind of...
Yeah, like he's got a double major in psychology, but just the way he... I don't know, it's just the way he approaches it and the way he talks, it doesn't even feel like I'm in like a therapy session.
Well, I think even when you are in a therapy session, they're asking questions so that you figure the answer yourself.
Right. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It comes from in coaching and everything else as well. The answer is in. You have all the answers. You just need to figure out how to get them.
I think that
we're asking questions.
I think if we put this like vision of what therapy is, like we go and lay on the couch and we have a box of Kleenex beside us and we just cry it out. Like I've never laid on a couch. You know, like I've never been into my therapist's office or my counselor's office and laid on a couch.
Right.
I went in and had a normal conversation. She asked me about my week, what I'm up to, what good things, what bad things are going on. Like it's a conversation with someone who just genuinely cares about you.
Right.
You know,
and it's a trust.
And it's a trust thing, right?
There's things that I can
it's not
talk to Omar about that.
It's not always just going
else
and
can judge it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like no judgment, right? It's like the lack of judgment. I'm a big but I also think it's individualistic, right? I had a tough time. I've been to 65 counselors.
65?
Yeah.
65.
Wow.
And so like I've maybe just because I'm stubborn and resilient, but I'm just like I'm not going to quit. Like I know that I need this stuff, but I've a few times that I'm like, nope, this like counseling isn't for me.
Yeah,
it's not going to work.
64 times you said that.
60, yeah.
Good for you for keeping with it though. Because
Wow,
obviously you found the one.
Pardon me?
That's persistence.
Yeah,
persistence.
I was like desperate to get well, because I was so sick, and I finally like had some self-awareness or maybe bright light and said like, this isn't how I'm gonna live. Like, I don't wanna live like this anymore, and I can't. I even thought like I can't even die. Like I've tried that. I've attempted suicide 3 times. That didn't work. I better get busy living.
Yeah.
I gotta figure this shit out quick, right?
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
And I think that I've been successful in that.
Fuck yeah, you have, man. Look at you now.
Yeah, I know.
In a loving relationship.
Not living in my car. Long way from the home.
Yeah. So if you're having scary thoughts about hurting someone else or yourself, and it scares you, it's a distraction from something else that you don't want to deal with. So that's a normal thought, okay? Just so if everybody's wondering if they're normal, that is normal. That is normal. People think about... To give you an example of something that was on this audio, and just if you don't know what it is, the course that we're going through, we will attach a link at the bottom. It's from the Midwest Center. It's an attacking stress, anxiety, and depression course through Lucinda Bassett. And one of the examples was a gentleman, as we said before, we're control freaks, and he was with his kids, and he was driving over a bridge, and before he went to the bridge, he saw a sign that said, no stopping on the bridge. For a control freak, that's something that's going to kind of irk you the wrong way, right? Because you now have to keep driving on a bridge where you can't get off. Mm-hmm. And so he started having thoughts about hurting his kids. And of course, this was just a distraction, his mind's way of distracting him. And he's focusing on why am I thinking that? But really, it's distracting him from being on a bridge, not being able to stop, and having to keep going to the other side over probably shit ton of water.
Right.
So that's a good example there.
And that's a normal like I think that's a normal thought for a circumstance like that if you have anxiety like that.
Yeah, I think people think about that. They think about hurting other people, think about hurting themselves. It's just distraction.
Right.
So you have to kind of figure out what it is that you're distracting yourself from. So don't give those thoughts any fuel. Let them pass.